It came after two unions sued the Trump administration, which had notified workers that almost all staff at the world's biggest aid donor would be put on leave. Reports suggested that USAID staff could be slashed from a force of about 10,000 worldwide to just a few hundred.
Supporters clapped as former USAID employees collected their belongings from the agency's now closed Washington headquarters. The moment brought some to tears.
Recently, a startling video of high-ranking USAID officials hurriedly deleting evidence went viral. This shocking clip has sparked widespread concern, with citizens and watchdogs demanding answers about deep-rooted mismanagement and corruption. The video hints at hidden practices diverting crucial funds away from those in need. It comes amid heated debates over political influence and sweeping changes following controversial government actions. Shocking arrest and suspension. On a seemingly ordinary Saturday after President Trump's inauguration, the country witnessed events that many found hard to believe. Protesters gathered at the USAID headquarters, holding signs and passionately demanding answers. In a dramatic turn of events that resembled scenes from a movie, government officials took swift action. The new administration ordered the immediate arrest of several USAID members and suspended the agency for 90 days. This decision was meant to send a clear message. No one is above the law, and no act of corruption should go unchecked. Many believe that the arrest and suspension were not random moves, but part of a larger plan to reshape how the agency was run.
Mr. Rubio's place, and he plans to align the independent agency to his priorities as Secretary of State.
Some insiders said the action was meant to break a long chain of mismanagement and waste that had plagued USAID for decades. Billions of taxpayer dollars had been spent on projects overseas, yet little had been seen on the ground to justify such huge expenses. Critics argued that funds meant for building schools, hospitals, and disaster relief were instead vanishing into secret accounts, leaving many vulnerable communities without proper assistance. The day was marked by chaos and conflicting stories. On one hand, supporters of the new policy saw the arrests as a long overdue step to clean up the system. They noted that the move was designed to shock the system into a new era of accountability. On the other hand, opponents were deeply worried. They feared that such heavy-handed tactics might damage long-standing humanitarian programs. They asked if it was wise to disrupt aid to poor nations when people needed it most. The scene outside the agency's building was filled with both hope and uncertainty. People questioned whether these arrests were solely about fighting corruption, or if they also played a part in a political strategy meant to shift public opinion in favor of rethinking foreign aid priorities. Amid all the turmoil, this dramatic intervention shook the political landscape both at home and abroad. The government's bold actions seemed to underline a serious commitment to rooting out corruption at every level. Yet, as the story unfolded, many were left to wonder if the drastic measures would lead to long-lasting change, or if they were simply a temporary fix to a much deeper problem. This political earthquake left an imprint on the national conscience and raised more than a few questions about how the country should handle its aid programs going forward.
The administration of U.S. President Donald Trump on Wednesday, upholding a lower court decision that the government cannot withhold payment to foreign aid organizations for work they've already performed. The legal setback comes as the Republican president moves to pull the plug on American humanitarian projects around the world.
Unraveling corruption and financial mismanagement. As investigations kicked off in the wake of the arrests, another shocking truth began to emerge. Billions of dollars meant for humanitarian work had vanished into a maze of corrupt transactions. Reports soon detailed a disturbing pattern of financial mismanagement that seemed to stretch back decades. Money that could have been used to build hospitals, schools, and roads had instead been funneled into secret accounts and padded the bank balances of a few powerful individuals. Deep within messy ledgers and outdated financial records, experts discovered that the old manual tracking systems used by USAID were a major weakness. These outdated methods allowed corruption to fester unnoticed. Without modern systems to track every dollar, large sums of money were easily misdirected. For example, millions of dollars, earmarked for projects like biodiversity conservation or post-disaster rebuilding, disappeared into opaque financial channels. In some cases, international firms, not local contractors, were hired at exorbitant fees, which helped inflate the costs of projects and left little for the promised aid. Investigators found that mismanagement was not limited to a single project. Instead, it was a far-reaching network of financial abuse. Money intended for poor nations was being rerouted and misused in multiple regions, leaving communities without the aid they desperately needed. Landlocked villages and urban centers in developing countries found themselves caught in the crossfire of a system that no longer served its noble purpose. This misdirected spending undermined the very mission of USAID, to help those in need, and sowed deep mistrust among American taxpayers. The discovery of lost billions quickly spread anger among the public. Taxpayers felt cheated, knowing that their hard-earned money was being used in ways that betrayed the promise of international development. Many called for a full audit of the agency's finances, hoping that a clear-cut accounting could expose the hidden layers of corruption. Financial experts suggested that if modern technologies, like blockchain and biometric systems, had been in place, every transaction might have been tracked in real time.
Our dollar is not going as far when we're dealing with high prices and
inflation.
For everything. It can be a little bit tougher during this time. So what are the best approaches for still being able to save during a time like this?
Absolutely. So identifying some of your free cash flow.
This would have prevented critical funds from being siphoned off and hidden away. Political manipulation and media bias. As the investigations into USAID proceeded, another troubling aspect came to light: the mixing of humanitarian aid with political interests. At its heart, USAID was formed to offer help to the poorest and most vulnerable people around the world. Yet, evidence began to show that its funds were sometimes used not just for building schools or hospitals, but also as a tool for political maneuvering. There were claims that money was secretly steered toward groups that aligned with certain political interests, both in the US and abroad. Numerous whistleblower testimonies and leaked documents hinted that aid money was being rerouted to support political campaigns and even military initiatives. Critics argued that the misdirected funds helped bolster regimes and politicians who would serve strategic American interests rather than focusing solely on genuine humanitarian needs. For instance, in some reports, funds that were supposed to help rebuild war-damaged regions inexplicably ended up strengthening local power bases. This raised serious doubts about whether the agency's actions were driven by a desire to help those in need or by a strategic effort to influence foreign politics. Even the media started playing a role in this tangled web. Many trusted news outlets, it turned out, had close ties with groups connected to USAID, leading to a phenomenon some called controlled reporting. Journalists, instead of challenging the official narratives, often printed stories that glorified the agency's efforts, even as critics raised serious questions about its operations. As a result, the public was sometimes given a one-sided view of USAID's activities, one that downplayed failures and painted a rosy picture of success. This made it hard for many to see the full depth of the corruption and mismanagement that was unfolding behind the scenes. Within the corridors of power, debates raged about the true purpose of USAID.
USAID Deputy Administrator Pete Morocco made the order, adding that the military will conduct the evacuations if staff members do not leave their respective countries. This comes amid an overhaul of the humanitarian agency, which has seen dozens of senior officials placed on leave and thousands of contractors laid off.
Were the agency's funds being used to genuinely help struggling communities, or were they being diverted for political gain? For everyday Americans, it became increasingly difficult to trust that foreign aid was free from hidden agendas. Many questioned whether their tax dollars were being used to support meaningful humanitarian work or to back political projects that had little to do with improving lives. The intertwining of political manipulation and media bias added another layer of complexity to the USAID controversy. It highlighted how powerful interests could skew both the funding and the public image of a government program. This realization fueled even more calls for transparency and change. With the agency's image manipulated through controlled reporting, many believed that a complete overhaul of USAID's operations and the way it communicated with the public was urgently needed. Calls for reform and technological overhaul. As mounting evidence of mismanagement and political interference spread, a growing chorus of critics and reformers demanded nothing less than a complete overhaul of USAID. At the center of this call for change was the idea that the agency simply could not work in today's world with old-fashioned methods. Supporters of reform argued that embracing modern technology was the only way to bring the necessary transparency and accountability that had long been missing. One of the first ideas put forward was the use of blockchain technology. Unlike traditional record-keeping systems, blockchain offers a decentralized and tamper-proof way to track each financial transaction in real time. With blockchain in place, every dollar spent on humanitarian projects could be traced easily, making it much harder for funds to disappear into hidden accounts. Many reformers believed that this simple yet powerful tool could act as a constant watchdog over USAID's financial operations, thus ensuring that all money reached its intended target. Alongside blockchain, experts advocated for the use of biometric technology. By using simple biometric checks to verify the identity of aid recipients, the agency could guarantee that help reached the right people, those who genuinely needed it.
Donald Trump on Wednesday, upholding a lower court decision that the government cannot withhold payment to foreign aid organizations for work they've already performed. The legal setback comes as the Republican president moves to pull the plug on American humanitarian projects around the world.
This, along with other modern tracking systems, would drastically cut down on the chance of fraud and mismanagement. In a world where every transaction can be recorded instantly, it would be much more difficult for corrupt practices to flourish. Beyond these technical upgrades, there was also a call for sweeping structural changes. Some proposed merging USAID with the State Department to create a more unified system where diplomatic efforts and humanitarian aid could work hand in hand. Others suggested that a more decentralized approach, directing funds straight to trusted local organizations, might improve efficiency and accountability. Such organizations, being closer to the ground, are often better able to identify and meet the needs of local communities without the red tape that bogs down larger bureaucracies. This pitch for technological and structural reform resonated with many Americans. Public trust in USAID had been deeply shaken by years of mismanagement, and there was a strong belief that the agency must change if it was ever to regain its legitimacy. The idea was not simply to update old processes, but to create a new paradigm where transparency and accountability are built into every step of the process. Advocates argued that such changes would not only protect against future corruption, they would restore confidence in a system that was once seen as a beacon of hope for millions around the world. Elon Musk's explosive claims, adding yet another explosive twist to the many controversies surrounding USAID, billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk took the spotlight with his own accusations. Known for his straightforward style and willingness to speak his mind, Musk claimed that USAID was not only mismanaging funds, but was also using them to support risky scientific research. According to Musk, money that should have gone toward building schools and hospitals was instead funding experiments that could lead to dangerous outcomes. Musk's allegations focused on the idea that some funds were being diverted to support scientific projects with high biosecurity risks. In his view, these experiments were set up in overseas laboratories where safety standards were less strict.
And just like the president who is elected to something cannot impound the money of the people, we don't have a fourth branch of government called Elon Musk, and that's going to become real clear.
Critics of these research projects warned that the work might inadvertently lead to the creation of more harmful pathogens, germs that could pose a serious threat to not just the countries involved, but to the world at large. This claim struck a chord with many who already feared that USAID's mismanagement was putting international safety at risk. The controversy over dangerous research was quickly amplified by leaked documents and whistleblower testimonies. These sources suggested that not all of USAID's spending was accounted for, and that some funds had indeed ended up supporting programs with questionable benefits. For many, Musk's claims underscored the larger problem. If the agency could not even keep track of the funds meant for simple humanitarian projects, how could it possibly ensure that the more complex and risky scientific experiments were safe? In Musk's view, the diversion of funds to high-risk research was a symptom of a broader culture of negligence within USAID. He argued that an agency that struggled to maintain proper financial controls was equally unfit to oversee experiments that could affect global health. The idea that taxpayer money might unintentionally fuel dangerous scientific work was both alarming and unacceptable to many Americans, who already felt their money was being wasted without proper oversight. As these discussions gained momentum, calls for a full and independent investigation into USAID's research funding grew louder. Citizens, media outlets, and even some lawmakers began demanding clear answers about where every dollar was going and how decisions were being made. While defenders of USAID argued that the alleged research projects were simply part of the natural evolution of scientific progress in a global network, the sheer uncertainty left a lasting mark on the public debate. Domestic impact, global repercussions, and the uncertain future of USAID. As the scandals around USAID continued to gather pace, attention began to shift to the broader impacts of these issues, both on a global scale and here at home. For many Americans, the mismanagement of billions in foreign aid was not an isolated international problem. It was a reflection of a system that was increasingly out of touch with domestic needs. With rising costs for everyday services, crumbling infrastructure, and a growing sense of economic hardship, many taxpayers began to question if spending so much money abroad was the right choice. At the heart of the debate was the realization that the funds misdirected by USAID could have been used to strengthen communities here in the United States. Critics argued that while the agency's lofty goals were meant to enhance America's soft power overseas, they often came at the expense of urgent domestic priorities. With many communities struggling to repair roads, improve schools, and provide affordable health care, the idea that vast sums of money were being wasted on mismanaged aid programs struck a painful chord. The controversy led lawmakers and experts alike to propose radical measures to save both American resources and the agency's credibility. Some suggested merging USAID with the State Department to tighten oversight and create a system where diplomatic strategy and humanitarian work could combine more seamlessly. Others recommended reallocating a portion of the billions spent overseas back to local, trusted charitable organizations that were in tune with community needs. The notion of using technology, blockchain for tracking funds and biometrics for verifying aid recipients, was seen as another potential solution to restore trust and accountability. This debate quickly became about more than just the mismanagement of funds. It was a broader contest of priorities. On one side were those who believed that America's moral duty to help other nations should continue, albeit with improved oversight. On the other side were voices demanding that before the country continues to send billions overseas, it should first guarantee that essential services at home are not being neglected. The outcry from ordinary citizens was loud and clear. Taxpayers wanted assurance that their contributions were not fueling corruption abroad, while domestic schools, hospitals, and roads suffered. In many ways, the uncertain future of USAID mirrors the larger crisis of trust in government institutions today. As more evidence of mismanagement and political interference surfaced, critics on all sides agreed that the time for half measures was over. Whether it meant through a tough merger, a complete reorganization, or strict technological reform, what remained undeniable was that change was urgently needed. Blake Lively's attorney left the courtroom in a shocking twist after new evidence emerged that could change everything. The drama, already fueled by whispers of on-set tensions, steamy co-star chemistry, and legal disputes, has taken a wild turn. Allegations involving Justin Baldoni, Blake's controversial behavior, and contradicting testimonies have fans buzzing. Did this bombshell evidence expose cracks in Blake's story? Or is this a case of Hollywood scandal gone too far? Blake's reputation and legal issues. Blake Lively's glamorous image as Hollywood's golden girl has always sparkled in the spotlight, but behind the scenes, her reputation seems to tell a more complicated story. While fans admire her charm, wit, and on-screen talent, whispers of legal drama and alleged difficult behavior have started to overshadow her star power. One of the most talked about situations is her refusal to promote the sequel to A Simple Favor, a hit comedy thriller starring Anna Kendrick. Reportedly, Blake cited legal issues involving co-star Justin Baldoni as her reason for stepping back. This decision left the production in chaos, with Anna Kendrick and Henry Golding allegedly caught in the fallout. While the exact details remain murky, Blake's refusal to cooperate sparked speculation about brewing tensions and unresolved legal disputes on set. Adding to the controversy, Blake has been accused of manipulating narratives to suit her image. For instance, claims of inappropriate behavior by Justin Baldoni during their work together were contradicted by leaked messages showing Blake's active involvement in shaping intimate scenes. Critics have pointed out inconsistencies in her statements, suggesting she may be trying to deflect blame. Blake's reputation for allegedly being difficult has also raised eyebrows in Hollywood. A report that she was denied the chance to present an award at a major event due to her reputation hints at trouble within the industry. While her success remains undeniable, these controversies have left fans wondering, is Blake's star power starting to dim, or is this just the price of fame? Refusal to promote A Simple Favor sequel. Blake Lively's refusal to promote the sequel to A Simple Favor is the drama no one saw coming. While the original film was a quirky success and a sequel seemed like a sure thing, Blake's decision to step back left the production in chaos and fans questioning what really went down behind the scenes. According to insiders, Blake cited legal issues involving her co-star Justin Baldoni as the reason for her refusal to participate in the promotional duties. This move blindsided the production team and reportedly left Anna Kendrick and Henry Golding scrambling to pick up the slack. The absence of Blake, one of the original film's key stars, cast a shadow over the sequel's momentum, with whispers of unresolved tensions and behind-the-scenes conflicts swirling. Many fans speculated that the legal drama tied to Justin Baldoni wasn't the only reason Blake stepped back. Rumors of on-set tension between the two co-stars had already been making headlines, with allegations of miscommunication, power struggles, and even romantic chemistry fueling the fire. Some even questioned if Blake's refusal to promote the sequel was a strategic move to avoid addressing these controversies altogether. The fallout from Blake's decision has been significant, leaving the production team in limbo and sparking debates about her alleged behavior. Was her refusal to promote the sequel simply a legal technicality, or was it an attempt to distance herself from deeper on-set drama? Either way, this story has left fans with more questions than answers, and the mystery surrounding Blake's decision is far from over. Justin Baldoni controversy. Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively's on-set dynamics have turned into one of Hollywood's juiciest controversies. What started as a professional collaboration on It Ends With Us has spiraled into a whirlwind of accusations, denials, and shocking revelations that fans can't stop dissecting. The drama centers around Blake's allegations against Justin, ranging from inappropriate behavior to creative disputes. One claim involves Justin allegedly barging into her trailer while she was topless and breastfeeding. However, leaked messages suggest a completely different story. Blake had reportedly invited Justin to rehearse lines while she was pumping, and Justin initially declined, saying he was eating. This contradiction has raised eyebrows, leaving many wondering if Blake twisted the narrative to her advantage. Another accusation focuses on Justin's supposed insistence that Blake wear provocative outfits for her role, but yet again, evidence tells a different story. Blake herself bypassed the costume designer and chose her wardrobe, even proposing a seductive look to match the romantic tone of the film. Allegations that Justin added steamy scenes without her her consent were also debunked, as Blake was heavily involved in shaping the intimate content alongside Justin. Adding fuel to the fire, some fans speculate the romantic chemistry between their characters might have bled into real life. Blake's playful Instagram comments on Justin's posts have resurfaced, sparking theories about flirtation. But when Justin didn't reciprocate, insiders claim Blake pivoted, putting the blame on him while protecting her marriage. Now, with doubts about Blake's version of events, this controversy has become a full-blown Hollywood mystery. Was Justin really at fault? Or is this another case of life imitating art gone wrong, manipulating narratives? Blake Lively has built a career on her polished, glamorous image, but recent controversies have sparked whispers about her alleged ability to manipulate narratives to her advantage. From on-set drama to personal allegations, fans and insiders alike are beginning to question if the stories around Blake are as picture-perfect as they seem, or if they've been carefully crafted to shift blame and protect her reputation. One of the most glaring examples of this alleged manipulation involves her time on the set of It Ends With Us. Blake claimed that co-star Justin Baldoni suggested provocative outfits for her character and even added steamy scenes without her consent. However, leaked evidence painted a vastly different story. Blake reportedly bypassed the costume designer herself, choosing a seductive wardrobe to better align with the film's tone. She also rewrote portions of the script, including intimate scenes, with Justin's input, even collaborating with her husband, Ryan Reynolds, to revise key moments. Fans were further shocked when Blake accused Justin of barging into her trailer while she was topless and breastfeeding, but leaked messages contradicted this, showing that Blake invited him in to rehearse lines. These inconsistencies have raised questions about whether Blake exaggerated or twisted events to control the narrative. Critics say this pattern isn't new. From romantic controversies with co-stars to professional clashes, Blake has often found herself at the center of drama, but somehow she's always emerged unscathed. The question remains, is Blake a victim of Hollywood's harsh spotlight, or is she a master of spinning her own story to her advantage? The topless incident. The so-called topless incident involving Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni has become one of the most talked about moments in this ongoing Hollywood drama. What initially seemed like a damning claim against Justin has taken a surprising turn, with leaked messages painting a very different picture. Blake alleged that Justin barged into her trailer while she was topless and breastfeeding, an accusation that immediately captured attention and criticism. However, leaked chat logs revealed a contradictory story. According to the messages, Blake had invited Justin to her trailer to rehearse lines while she was pumping milk. Justin reportedly declined at first, mentioning that he was eating and would come by afterward. This revelation left fans scratching their heads, questioning why Blake's version of the story didn't match the documented evidence. The incident has sparked speculation about Blake's intentions. Was this an honest misunderstanding, or an attempt to twist the narrative in her favor? Critics have pointed out that this isn't the first time Blake's account of events has come under scrutiny, with her previous claims about provocative wardrobe choices and intimate scenes also being challenged by behind-the-scenes evidence. On-set romantic chemistry. The on-set chemistry between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni during the filming of It Ends With Us has become a hot topic, with fans speculating whether their connection went beyond acting. Their characters in the film share a deep, emotional bond, and some believe the intense romantic energy may have spilled over into real life. Blake, known for fully immersing herself in her roles, admitted to drawing heavily on her love for romance to portray her character Lily. She even brought elements of her own wardrobe into the role, further blurring the lines between herself and her character. Meanwhile, Justin, who not only starred alongside Blake but also directed the film, went full method to embody his character Ryle. He kept a journal as Ryle and delved into the emotional trauma of the character, which made their scenes together all the more realistic and intense. The sparks were undeniable, and fans began analyzing every behind-the-scenes detail to see if life was imitating art. One resurfaced Instagram comment from Blake on Justin's workout post, where she jokingly wrote, "Amazing, now try it pregnant," fueled rumors of flirtation. While the exchange seemed harmless, fans couldn't help but dig deeper, questioning whether Blake's competitive banter was masking something more. Things took an even spicier turn when allegations surfaced that Blake accused Justin of kissing her longer than necessary during romantic scenes. However, reports revealed that Blake had significant input in shaping these moments, leading to questions about whether the chemistry was mutual or if Blake's feelings might have gone unmet. Involvement of Blake's husband, Ryan Reynolds. When Blake Lively found herself at the center of drama surrounding her co-star Justin Baldoni, her husband Ryan Reynolds reportedly stepped in, and things only got messier. Known for his sharp wit and protective nature, Ryan's involvement has sparked rumors about how much of the controversy might have been fueled by jealousy and a desire to defend his wife. Insiders claim Ryan Ryan confronted Justin Baldoni on set after hearing whispers about their intense on-screen chemistry. The romantic tension between Blake and Justin's characters in It Ends With Us had already set fans buzzing, but Ryan allegedly wasn't thrilled about the closeness. Some reports suggest he even exchanged heated words with Justin, demanding explanations for what he perceived as inappropriate behavior. Whether this was fueled by the topless incident, where Blake accused Justin of barging into her trailer, or the steamy nature of their scenes, Ryan's intervention added a whole new layer of drama to the situation. Interestingly, Blake had reportedly involved Ryan in revising intimate scenes for the movie. We've come to the end of this video. What do you think is the looming danger that Kaku foresees? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click on the following video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.